Would you rather $100,000 just handed to you, or would you prefer a 50-50 shot at landing 1 million? Take a moment, think about it. The answer wasn't clear to me when I was initially pondering this question. Someone on Instagram posed that question to me, and so I thought that it was super interesting, and so I started asking that question around social media. I asked it on Twitter, I asked it on StockTwits, I asked it on different Facebook groups that I'm a part of, the ChartYourTrade family Facebook group, the Lead Nation Facebook group. I also asked it in my own Instagram stories. And some of the responses were pretty interesting. So the poll showed that there was probably about a 60-40 split in who would take the 100 versus who would go for the million. In the Facebook groups, we saw some pretty interesting responses. Here's some of them. Nurhazwan Binamin said that 100K is a pot of gold from the sky. Stephen Walker said that a bird in the hand beats two in the bush. Davis Vanderslice says $100,000. Save it away for the next economic cycle. Invest in good companies, becomes $1 million in a few years. Later, booyah. Then Bo from Instagram, he responded to me through DM, and he said that he would just take that 100,000 and turn it into $1 million with his businesses. We have a response from Jay Caminos. He said that, honestly, at this time in my life, 100,000 isn't that much. So I'd go 50-50 chance of that 1 million, since I don't have anything to lose. Outcomes are either $0, 100,000, which doesn't mean all that much, or 1 million. So if you're not risking anything, since you have nothing to lose in this scenario, why not go for that 1 million? And that all this got me thinking, and it got me thinking about risk management. So let's say that we have a halfway decent sized portfolio. Let's say that we're trading a $100,000 portfolio, right? And so if we're typically risking 1% of our capital, then that means that we're typically risking $1,000. So if in this example, we have the opportunity to have 100,000 handed to us, that's 100 times the amount that we typically risk in a trade. How often do we make 100 times the amount that we risk in anything? So to have that guaranteed, that's huge. That's a huge return. Or we could risk that and potentially have 1,000 times that we risk. Both of those are the black swans, right? Like you don't really see them that often. For me personally, if I'm trading a $100,000 portfolio and I have a chance to just have a 100R trade handed to me, then I'm going to go for that guaranteed 100 times my risk offer. Now, if I'm somebody that trades a $1 million portfolio and I'm typically risking just 1% of my capital, and now all of a sudden that 100,000 doesn't seem as great anymore. Well, what if I'm trading a $10 million account and I'm typically risking 100,000 on a trade? Then if I'm typically risking $100,000 per trade, and I can either make what would be a 1 times the amount that I normally risk gain, or make something that would be a 10 times the amount that I typically risk trade, then it kind of makes more sense to go for the million versus the 100,000. That's my thought on it. It's the bigger of the account that we trade, the smaller this becomes. So for someone like Jay, it makes complete sense to go for the million. For someone like me, or for somebody that's trading much smaller accounts, then it makes a lot more sense to get the 100 and take that and try to grow it in other ways. Real interesting thought experiment. Let me know what you think. I'm real curious to hear a lot of different perspectives on this topic. Leave them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button. That's going to help us out a lot. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that way you get every single update. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you again in the next video. Take care and have a great day.